Hey everyone, I'm Haley. I study strategic communications. Let's sharpen our media literacy skills together. This is How to Push Back. Today we're going to look at how our two major networks, Fox and MSNBC, cover the floods down in Texas. So one of them opens up with grief and then shifts to a cautious critique, while the other leads with mockery and uses some moral framing and blame reversal. Let's break it down.
At least 90 people have lost their lives. Many others are still missing after catastrophic flash flooding Friday morning along the Guadalupe River. This time-lapse video shows just how quickly the waters rose there, swamping a highway in a matter of minutes. The Guadalupe River rose by 26 feet in just 45 minutes, catching countless people by surprise. At least 90 people have lost their lives. Many others are still missing after catastrophic flash flooding Friday morning along the Guadalupe.
MSNBC opens with this really fast-paced emotion. They're talking about death tolls. They're showing the water rising. They continue on with a survivor testimony after the clip. The structure really immerses the viewer in shock and sympathy. So it's a form of emotional anchoring. They're priming us to connect personally and to feel some big emotions about this before we hear anything political.
House correcting the record.
The National Weather Service provided early and consistent warnings. They gave out timely flash flood alerts. There were record-breaking lead times in the lead up to this catastrophe. There is ongoing flood monitoring, and these offices were well staffed. In fact, one of the offices was actually overstaffed.
So just take it from me, politicizing weather events is not good, and it shouldn't happen.
Fox pivots away quickly from the event to a defensive stance. We're told that the government performed really well, and questioning it is politicizing the tragedy. This is tone policing. It's something that it's a way to frame emotional concern as inappropriate. Instead of asking what went wrong, we're scolded for even asking.
On that, NBC News reports this, quote, independent meteorologists and a former NWS official said warnings issued in the run-up to the flooding were about as timely and accurate as could be expected with the weather data available in real time. However, the New York Times reports this, quote, crucial positions at the local offices of the National Weather Service were unfilled as severe rainfall inundated parts of central Texas on Friday morning, prompting some experts to question whether staffing shortages made it harder for the forecasting agency to coordinate with local emergency managers as floodwaters rose. Compounding the issue, what looked like a shrug from Donald Trump.
So here's where MSNBC begins to move from grief to accountability. They mention unfulfilled federal roles and systemic gaps, but the blame is softly attributed. And what that means is that they sort of hid it. They wrapped the blame in quotes and expert speculation and that sort of thing. What it does is it's a way to raise concerns without a direct accusation.
People have emotional problems and bad religion. Let me give you an example, Jessica, and it's good to be back around the table. This climate change thing is a religion to these people because they believe that weather is punishing us for being a rich and successful and prosperous nation. And all they need to do to appease the rain gods is to have everybody use their sacred things like solar panels and stupid cars and windmills. And that's what's going to save lives. All right. And then you have people that blame everything on Donald Trump. So if they get fired, if they stub their toe, if there's a virus, it's his fault. And so you're walking around and dealing with people that are like suspicious pagans. All right. Everything they see as a conspiracy.
So, yeah, now we're deep into ridicule. This man is framing climate concern as a cult. He's labeling the critics as superstitious pagans. This is not debate. This is not news. This is a performance. The goal, there's no goal to inform here. They're building tribal loyalty. They're shutting down curiosity. There's also a false analogy here that he's making. So a false analogy is when you draw a comparison between things that aren't really comparable. The comparison might go like, scientists have beliefs and religious people have beliefs, therefore science is a religion. But the type and the justification of those beliefs are radically different. So they're making a false analogy there. So these clips have both been really good examples of how coverage can shape our grief. It can redirect blame. It can protect those in power. It's good to look at how the media and how news sources are harnessing this grief. And it's like we talked about in a previous video, grief is a very strong emotion. It's just like disgust. It is easy to grab on to one of those strong emotions and pull you in a direction. Well, I appreciate you guys being here with me today. My name is Haley, and this has been How to Push Back.